Hey everybody, before we dive into today's show, I have a fun pop-up offer to share with you from Equalife. This is on our calming magnesium, the number one product to relax your nervous system, help you unwind at night, good for your digestion and bowels to keep you regular, as well as get that deep sleep you need overnight. Very simple to use. It is strawberry splash, a delicious flavor. You simply take 1 scoop mixed in warm water or as a tea a half hour or so before bed. It is absolutely delicious, and it essentially has no calories, and it is a delicious drink you can use, like I said, right before bed. That's going to be good for your regularity in your bowels in the morning, as well as enable you to recover and rejuvenate overnight. If you've never tried the product, I highly recommend it, and we're offering 15% off this week while supplies last. Head on over to stevencabral.com/shop for all the details.
Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here today with our first Cabral HouseCall of the weekend, episode 2465. If you'd like to follow along with the questions, you're always welcome to by heading on over to stevencabral.com/2465 or stevencabral.com/podcasts, where all the previous 2,464 podcasts live. All right, let's get into today's questions. As always, we are answering our community's questions, your questions that have come in over the past about 12 weeks or so. We're typically about 12 weeks of questions in the queue, and that's about how long it's taking to get to your question answered live on the show. As always, do feel free to write into cabralsupportgroup.com so that the amazing Michelle or Daniel are able to direct you towards maybe a previous podcast that could help, even in the meantime. All right. So let's get started. First question is from Jennifer. Jennifer says, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. Love your work. 2 questions for you. I've been experiencing chronic pain and other symptoms in my vaginal or bladder area. I've taken lots of rounds of antibiotics with no relief. First question, from research, there are a couple doctors treating what they call embedded infections, where the bacteria is not detectable on a culture because it has embedded itself in the bladder wall. They treat this with years of antibiotics. What are your thoughts on that? Second, I do always culture strep B in my bladder despite taking several rounds that should have treated it. I'm sure it's colonized in my bladder and not just a contaminated catch because I always culture it. By this point, perfectly clean, stream catch. I've ordered the stool sample test, waiting on that now. What I'm wondering is, will the CBO protocol address the strep B in my bladder and vaginal area, and will it help with yeast or bacterial overgrowth in my vagina? Any suggestions would be greatly appreciated. Thank you." Okay, got it, understood, and I'm happy to help. So again, I always share with you that I'm not here to provide you with any medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, or medical diagnosis. So I'm not treating strep B. I'm not treating any of these things that you are necessarily pointing to. What I can help, though, is to look at the underlying root cause of this particular issue. All right, so the issue is, yes, there are doctors right now treating what they call stealth infections or infections in general with years of antibiotics. To me, it's an absolute disaster. Now, of course, last resort, okay, then we do it. I was on 3 years of antibiotics and it absolutely devastated my health, meaning like that is what ultimately was the triggering event, if you've read The Rain Barrel Effect, for how I got unwell. So that's that. I can't recommend that. It will destroy your immune system in the process. But again, last resort, you have to do it, right? So I don't think you have to do it, but anyway, here's what I'm going to share with you. When I work with women and they have pain in the vaginal bladder-based area, we're potentially looking at uncovered STDs or yeast infections or bacterial vaginosis or some type of toxicity. And so, yes, I do think that you're actually alluding to exactly what it may be. It's not being picked up, and maybe it is strep B. Okay. So here's what we know that we need to do. You could be on antibiotics forever, but the problem is you need to get your immune system strong. It's like when you have Lyme, when you have mold. The goal is not to do a mold protocol for 2 years or Lyme protocol for 2 years. It's, you're on this for 3 to 6 months. However, the goal is to boost your immune system in the meantime while this is happening so that your body can keep itself balanced. Because you might get rid of it and then it comes right back because the body is not necessarily balanced. So we have something called the Healthy Urinary Tract Protocol. I can't recommend that enough, while potentially doing the CBO protocol with the citracidal drops for sure. Then the CBO Heal and Seal, CBO Finisher it's called. And that's that. So again, yes, you're doing the right thing. Run the stool test. Then you're going to see what CBO protocol you may need, the CBO protocol, and go from there. And then the Healthy Urinary Tract Protocol as well. And those are all at stevencabral.com/shop, and that will send you right over there. All right. Now, you know you're going to be able to figure this out. Honestly, I've worked with this many, many times in our practice. Inflammatory-based issue, and you can fix this as well. Okay. Eric's up next. Hello, Dr. Cabral. I have a question regarding my mother-in-law. She had the sleeve weight loss procedure. Now, years later from complications, she is having her entire stomach cut out, leaving her with around 5%. Her gut health is horrific. My question is, can she do the CBO or parasite protocol with 5% of a stomach? She will have an extremely restricted diet in quantity, obviously, but also in what she can eat. Thanks so much for all you do. Yeah, honestly, Eric, I feel for you. This is an absolute travesty. Conventional medicine should be held accountable for this. I mean, they really should. I mean, for weight loss, can you imagine? This is not, by the way, your mother-in-law's fault. She's relying on her doctors. People should rely on their doctors. Like, they should be able to. When you have the sleeve weight loss procedure, you're essentially removing like 85% of your stomach, like the vast majority of it. Now, this person's having even more complications. Well, lo and behold, you just cut out their stomach. It's like literally the holding tank of how you digest food for hours at a time. How are you possibly going to eat protein again in your life if you can't produce hydrochloric acid? I would love for the doctor, any doctor in conventional medicine, to answer me how you're going to be able to break down some type of meat or animal-based protein. You won't be able to. You literally, and it's not good, but we're looking at someone that's going to do much, much better for the rest of their life with pre-digested food. That means smoothies, smoothie bowls, pureed food, no hard-to-digest food. They don't have a stomach anymore. It blows my mind that conventional medicine is allowed to do this. And people look at natural health as like, oh, it's too scary or unproven. No. Natural health is the only thing that's proven, that's been around for thousands of years. So this is just too bad. Too bad. It really is. It's just not ideal. So can they do the CBO or parasite protocol? I don't have an issue with this because the goal is to get these things into the intestine in the first place. They don't need to be in the stomach. However, I can't give you any medical advice. I can't give your mother-in-law any medical advice. She would have to seek out her, GI doctor. But again, I'm not laughing at this situation at all. I'm laughing at the travesty that we're supposed to recommend that you ask your doctor. That's what we have to do legally. You are supposed to ask your doctor about natural health. It's just blows my mind. So, it's just too bad. And I feel for Eric and his mother-in-law. So I would be on a essentially very easy to digest liquid type diet because there's no stomach. It has to be pre-digested. And I don't have a problem, with those protocols, but I can't give you that recommendation at all. So, because again, who knows what other complications there are? I have no idea what's going on inside the intestines. Maybe there's diverticulitis. Maybe there's massive colitis. I don't know. You would really have to work with a practitioner to be safe. All right. Morgan's up next. Hey, Dr. Cabral, I'm having a reoccurring issue when sleeping where I fall asleep and I wake up 1 to 2 hours later automatically with intense acid reflux, and I can't get through the feeling and back to sleep. What do you recommend on getting through this or eliminating certain foods or adding certain ones? Thank you, Morgan. Okay. So first thing I would do is run the bacteria, parasite, and stool test. I would look for H. pylori. I would look at my podcast on acid reflux. I would see if it's a biomechanical based issue, like a lower esophageal issue because of a hiatal hernia. I would look, like I said, to see if it's food combining issue, poor, weak digestion. What else? High histamines, H. pylori I already mentioned. That's what I do. So I would run the bacteria and parasite stool test at a minimum, even if you only run one lab. Then you may need to do the CBO protocol and then the CBO finisher. That will greatly help because you need to rebalance whatever there's going on in the gut. If you want in-depth answers to this, I have a whole course on it at stevencabral.com/courses. I have a course on how to rebalance your digestion, how to rebalance your thyroid, how to rebalance female hormones. And then I have 2 free ones, one on detoxification, and then one comes when you order Fatlocity for an entire weight loss based program. So that's what I would look at. For now, I would prop your head up a bit. I think that's going to help tremendously. Sleep a little bit elevated, not as a cure, right? That's not the fix. That's just temporary. And then you might want to use something like marshmallow tea before bed, or a couple hours before bed, or healthy gut support. And you can find the healthy gut support at stevencabral.com/shop as well. All right. So again, like long-term plan, short-term plan, cool that acid reflux, because there's something going on, and so we have to be able to fix it. All right. Amanda's up next. Amanda says, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. Thank you so much for your incredible work. I felt so alone on my health journey before I found your story." Thank you, Amanda. Appreciate that. I was wondering if you've worked with someone with linear morphia. I have, let's see here, morphia and cuticebra, diagnosed by a dermatologist when I was around 14, gave me topical steroids, and it lightened up a bit, the area, and it seemed to make it more narrow. It's been years since I've used the cream. I was wondering if you've ever seen it completely reversed. I've been working to heal my gut the last 2 years. I've done the CBO, parasite. I was just wondering if there's anything else I should look into. I was a C-section baby, prescribed antibiotics, took ibuprofen for headaches. Let's see, mother had liver cirrhosis, painful, very stressful, 5 more years. She passed away. Understood. Okay. So oftentimes linear morphia can greatly lighten or go away on its own within a few years. Now, I'm assuming that obviously didn't happen for you. One thing that we found is detoxification protocols to greatly help. We found it to greatly help with melasma, linear morphia, and vitiligo and other based issues as well. So typically you did the CBO, you did the parasite, which is amazing. I would do a 21-day functional medicine detox. Again, I'm not providing any cures or treatment plans. And then I would do the heavy metal detox after that. And if you have the ability, some infrared sauna or sauna as well. And you can see my sauna recommendations at stevencabral.com/resources. I've been using, it's actually like literally 5 feet out of the camera, the Thera 360 Plus, and you can see the nice little discount we give the community there as well. It's not ours, but we're just promoting great brands that are doing great things in the world. So that's where I would start, and then follow back up. I mean, we're always happy to help. And if you have never run the Big Five, run the Big Five, or if not, just start using the daily foundational protocol as well, because it's an amazing way to get that body back healthy. Daily foundational protocol level 2 works for most people, and that's at stevencabral.com/shop as well. And again, please keep in mind, you never have to purchase any of the products I recommend. Just look at the ingredients, look at the labs, look at what you can do, work with your favorite practitioner, and I'm good with that. I mean, I just want people to always know that. I hate saying it, but some people, like 1% of the world, be like, "You're just trying to recommend this, this, and this." Like, honestly, I don't. That's how you get well. So I don't know what else to do. There's the entire de-stress protocol, right? Diet, exercise, stress reduction, toxin removal, rest, emotional balance, scientifically backed supplements, and a success mindset. And I give basically all the other stuff away for free. Either if you're an IHP, obviously you learn all the protocols, and the others are on the podcast. So, I mean, I'd give all of it away for free if I could, but I'm not independently wealthy and I can't pay for all these things for people. So, please do as you feel appropriate. All right. Jenna's up next. Have you read the book called Glucose Revolution yet? It's pretty new. And the author, Jesse, I apologize, I can't pronounce that last name. I apologize. I won't even try. Has been interviewed on dozens of health podcasts. I'm reading the book now, and it's fascinating. I was wondering if you would consider doing a book review on it. I can definitely check it out. I've read excerpts on it. I understand the premise that you're eating your basically vegetables and proteins first, and then your more starchy or carbohydrates or whatever after the meal, such as, well, whatever you want for carbs. And that's more of the focus. I could be wrong. Again, I can look more into it, but that's what I read. And, fine, right? Like that's a hack. That's meaning like not in a bad way, but that's a biohack. And I don't necessarily consider it necessarily a healthy biohack because it breaks all of the principles of healthy food combining, where you're putting the easier to digest foods at the end of the meal and allowing them to potentially ferment or spike the blood sugar and just keep it there longer. Like, again, so you don't get the same elevation, but you get a longer spike. I think people are a little misguided in the American-based thought process that you can never have an elevated blood sugar level for an hour, hour and a half post-meal. I think that what we do is we look at one thing, spiking blood sugar bad. It can never, ever happen. Like, okay, it's bad as a type 2 diabetic. It's bad as a type 1 diabetic. It's not bad for the majority of people to have a blip once or twice a day. Like that's not uncommon, nor is it unnormal, nor is your pancreas not equipped to be able to do that. And believe it or not, it helps to reset cortisol levels and leptin and ghrelin. So again, we can debate this all day long, but the problem is people focus on one biomarker and they try to do everything in their power just to fix that one thing. Even if it means by, poor food combining or, putting starches at the end of a meal. You can. So it's not that you can't do that. And yes, it does work, but it's a prolonged then blood glucose elevation instead of a up and then down. So it's like, which one do you want? I think the human body was much more equipped to be able to eat fruit on its own. That's the truth. All right. Thank you. But it doesn't mean that the author is not smart and brilliant and it's not a good book worth checking out. It's just, if that is the premise, it's not something that I'm necessarily recommending. That's all. I would prefer healthier just combinations. That's all. All right. Anonymous is our last question of the day, and they are saying, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. I was checking the ingredients on your liquid melatonin and I'm confused. I saw the ingredients and if it was in a supplement pharmacy, I wouldn't take it. It contains xanthan gum, which you said is not good. And I'm not sure about potassium sorbate and citric acid. Thank you for clarifying. Have a great day." I'm happy to answer this question. Yeah, I totally understand. And I you know what? I'm always honest with you. I agree with you. It's not our product that we carry at Equilife. We are carrying it because it's best in class. Like, that's the truth. Now, there's a caveat to that. So it's Pure Encapsulations that makes it. They're a good company. At Equilife, though, if we formulate it, there's no xanthan gum, and there are only preservatives that need to be in there that are going to prevent mold. So a liquid or a powder oftentimes need to contain some type of natural preservative. Tocopherols from vitamin E, citric acid from non-GMO based products. Remember, there are people out there just giving you bad information saying all citric acid comes from GMO corn or mold or whatever it is. It's just simply not the case. You can extract citric acid in much healthier ways. So, but here's the thing. I agree with you. Not our product. Still the very best at what it does. Okay? And that is help people get to sleep quickly without grogginess the next day. Now, for people that don't want to use that, we have another product it's called Sleep Help Support. And that one has melatonin in it, but it's not a liquid form. Some people like to dose that liquid form as much or as little as they need. Now, the good news is this. It's not an easy product to create. That's not good news, right? So I'll give you the good news, though. Not an easy product to create. We've been trying to create our own for about 6 months. That means we are only adding in the healthiest base ingredients. Now, you're using so little, it's not a massive amount, but I agree with you, Anonymous, and I'm with you and I'm honest. We're creating our own. It's going to be about the same dosage, but it's not going to have the xanthan gum. You need some thickener. We're using guar. Hopefully you check out my podcast on guar gum, which is actually good for the gut. And so there you have it. And it'll be organic stevia. All right. So that's that. Total, again, like I'm always okay with being called out or anything like that. I really am, because again, I'm in the same boat as you. I use these products. That's the truth. So great questions today. I would expect nothing less from our community. I appreciate you. I appreciate your support, your reviews of the show. If you haven't reviewed the show yet, please do. It really means a lot to me and my team, not just me, to see us continue to climb and reach more people. So thank you so much. Take care. And I'll be back tomorrow answering 6 more questions from the community. Couldn't thank you enough for all of your support of the show and our global health community. Our message really does mean the world to us, our team, our IHPs, and I know all of you as well. So again, thank you so much for your support of this show. What I wanted to share with you before you do go is that this week we are offering 15% off our calming magnesium drink. It is a crowd favorite, and that is because it helps with bowel regularity, but it also reduces a lot of that anxiety, nervousness you might be feeling, calms the nervous system, allows you to get a deep, rejuvenating night's sleep. It's very simple to use. You simply use 1 scoop of the delicious strawberry splash flavor in room temperature water or just some hot tea before bed. Mix it up 30 minutes or so before bed. Sip on it. It's a delicious, no sugar drink. You'll enjoy it and your body will as well. If you want to try it out, take 15% off while supplies last by heading on over to StephenCabral.com/shop.